Delta Airlines issued this statement to Fox, which reads in part, out of an abundance of caution, the captain elected to divert to the closest airport. Local law enforcement met the flight and removed the passenger. The aircraft continued to West Palm Beach, arrived at 11:13 p.m. We apologize for the inconvenience to customers. So flight attendants stayed with the arguing female passenger until the plane landed. The woman who demanded the flight be diverted, quote, said, "I don't care about the consequences." Well, she may care once she finds out any interference with flight crew members and attendants carries a maximum prison sentence of 20 years. Each situation, we should mention, is different, and the punishment can vary depending on how unruly the passenger is and if there is a weapon or assault involved. Travel experts say some of these fighting for space problems stem from the airlines, some of which have been adding more seats to boost revenue, leaving passengers on board a packed flight no wiggle room for those with tempers to be uncomfortable. Arthel.
And there you have it. Okay, Laura, thank you very much. And so, as Laura just mentioned, this is the third such incident in a week. So my next guest says this situation has just gotten out of hand and that we all need to come to an understanding about proper seat reclining etiquette. Mollie Hemingway is here. She's a senior editor at the Federalist. Okay, Mollie, do we have the right to recline or not? Should we do it or not?
What? It seems that as these seats get closer and closer together, they've gone from nearly 3 feet apart to just over 2 feet apart. We kind of need a new understanding of whether it's okay or not to recline. And so I think it's just important that people should think about if they're going to recline, they need to know that that might be happening at the expense of a pregnant lady who's sitting behind you, or a dad with an infant on his lap, or someone trying to get some business done before they get home, or just someone who's over 6 feet tall whose knees are going to be right at that point where you're reclining. So we have to understand that there are new rules as these seats get closer together.
So you're saying if you're going to recline, be mindful of the person behind you, be respectful. And you're not the only person on that airplane is what you say, right, Mollie?
Exactly. And everyone keeps thinking every man for himself, as that last story indicates. And instead, I think we should be having an attitude of we're all in this together and let's see how we can make it the most comfortable for everybody.
Is it ever okay to recline?
I mean, certainly, if there's a kid behind you, recline away. Or also, if you need to recline, you might have a health concern that requires you to recline. Maybe just talk to the person behind you, or do it gently as you recline instead of thrusting your seat back and breaking the laptop of the person behind you.
Right. Or, you know, some people like to pull down the tray table in front of them and put their heads down and fall asleep like that. So if you recline, you're snapping those people's heads, just banging their head, snapping their neck. That's problematic.
Exactly.
So, I mean, but, you know, to Laura's point in her report, you know, some people are saying, listen, blame it on the airlines. They're just packing us in there like sardines and creating less and less space between these seats. And if you want any space like you used to have, you got to pay for it.
Right, but we all do want those cheap flights. I mean, air travel has never been cheaper. It's actually a good thing that we all can fly over the country so easily. And so we have to take some responsibility for that, too. We want the cheap flights. Those seats are going to be packed together, and we need to think about how to be considerate while we're in those packed seats.
Yeah, so I think you just let the airline off the hook completely. You're saying they have the right to pack us in there and get more money per flight?
This can't be cheap for them that there are all these flights diverting also, so maybe they should think about how to increase customer satisfaction. Maybe take out the reclining option in those back seats, and if you want to have a reclining seat, you can pay a little bit more.
All right, so you're saying in some cases it's okay to recline, but just kind of check behind you before you lean back, so
We're all in this together.
Yeah. Do you recline?
Of course not. Absolutely not. I'm a civilized person.
You had said you recline, Mollie. I was going to give you a time out. Okay, Mollie Hemingway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. John,
I blame the